And welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Fast Frame. If you got a magazine, if you got a newspaper, if you got an autographed sports card, whatever, you need to take it to Fast Frame. They are the masters at turning sports memorabilia into artwork, works of art that you can put in your office, put in your home, put in your living room, wherever. Fast Frame. They do a wonderful job. I think most of us here on the set have taken something there at one time or another. Well, Chuck, Mike, Jimmy, and Bob and I all have. Mark will force you to go down to Fast Frame at some point. You'll be happy you did. Fast Frame. All right. Mark Pankrat's back with us. We mentioned it earlier. I think it was the worst possible scenario for Tennessee. Rhode Island beats LSU in Baton Rouge last night, hurts LSU's RPI, hurts the SEC's RPI, and wakes LSU the heck up for Tennessee coming to town. What should Vol fans be looking for in this game? Give us a little scouting report on LSU and what's big in this contest.
Well, we'll have to continue to take care of the basketball. They'll like to mix up their defenses, and we've done a good job against them in the past doing that. And then also, we'll have to handle the different defenses and then get back in transition. They're a team with two really fast guards and a forward that can really run the floor, that can bring problems to us if we don't get back. And then if we can continue to win the battle of the paint by rebounding and then don't settle with jump shots if they're playing zone, continue to attack. I think you've seen Coach kind of put in some of that three-man weave, different offensive looks that have been effective the last couple games. And so if we can take care of the basketball, get back in transition, and then win the paint, I think we have a chance to win.
Big game for Stokes and Maimon, too, because we pointed out earlier in the season, height has been a challenge for this team, and LSU got some size. I think that's one thing to watch as well. How well do Stokes and Maimon perform, especially early? It seems that if Stokes, if he wavers at all, if somebody puts a shot back in his face in the first 5 minutes, he's not the same guy the rest of the game. When you look at Stokes and Maimon, I think watch them early, and that's going to be a good indicator of how they do. What are your thoughts on this game? Is it a must-win? I mean, for Tennessee, you hate to say must-win until it's actually – your back's against the wall, but in terms of an at-large bid, is this a must-win?
I think it's huge, and in part, not just to help
you. Huge or
I'm getting
win?
good at that. I think just from the RPI standpoint, from getting some momentum early started with your SEC schedule. Interesting stat about Stokes is in the wins for Tennessee, he's averaging almost 17 points. In their losses, he's averaging 8.8, which tells you that obviously the more he scores, the better Tennessee is. Some of those games that they've lost, he's gotten into some foul trouble and not been productive, but he needs to make sure he stays out of foul trouble against LSU.
Guys?
Two things. The last few times I've been down there to Baton Rouge, it's not a terribly hostile atmosphere. I don't know if Johnny Jones has built it back up, but I think you could go in there and you're not going to be walking into a Hornets nest. It's a huge game, but it's not a must-win because everybody said, okay, if they go 13-5 in the SEC, well, some of those losses are going to be road losses, and this is going to be one of your tough road teams to play. So it's not a must-win, but it would be a huge victory.
Okay, Chuck.
And to me, this is one of those games where you want to match and live up to your new slogan for the year, that you're toughened up or you're the tougher team. That's what you're going to need to be at LSU with some of these frontline players they've got. Be the tougher team, and like I said before, and Tennessee did it against Virginia, be ready to play from the opening tip. We've seen too much of waiting around and a sluggish start. Be ready to play.
Final word.
And I won't necessarily say must win, but I will argue that come bubble time, come NCAA tournament time, SEC is going to get a handful of teams. Right now it's maybe four.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at Kentucky, you're looking at Florida as your definite locks. And then between Missouri, LSU, Tennessee, maybe Arkansas, those are your teams who you're vying for. And so to play them, only opportunity to play LSU head-to-head, if it's a win that would serve us well come March if we can get it.
You're not only helping yourself, but you're putting a dagger in one of those guys you're going to be competing for a bid war. Okay, Mark Pankratz, thanks a lot. Always enjoy having you here. Next week we'll have Don DeVoe as well, so plenty of basketball next week to talk. And coming up next, we've got the lightning round. Bob Hodges back. Got some interesting stuff in this one. I kind of like this one. I think you'll like it. Come on back on the Enrichment Sports Source.